In this clip, we will take a look at the things to keep in mind when working with Vex in Houdini and a few helpful tips. So, what is Vex? Vex is an expression language designed to provide a way to create performance-efficient custom nodes, or even write shaders. In this course, we will focus on working with geometry, so that you can get familiar with the functions that are available in that context. The problem is that there are way too many functions and variables to remember them all. So it's important to know where to find the details about them. If you are familiar with Houdini, you have probably used a VOP node at some point. You may have noticed that the network editor changed to Vex Builder, but what does it mean exactly? Let's jump into Houdini and take a look. Let's make a simple setup with a box. And let's say we want to do something with that box. We'll create a point VOP and jump inside. As you can see, we are now in the Vex Builder. Let's say we want to just make this box bigger. So we start by taking the input position information and put it directly into the output. Then we create a multiplier node and we just want to multiply it with a value of 2. So create a constant and connect it to the multiplier. If you're not quite sure why the box did what it did right now, don't worry, we will take a look at vectors later when we speak about data types. At the moment, it is more interesting to see what this VOP node does in the background, because a VOP node is nothing else than a node-based building editor to create Vex coding without having to understand coding. But in the end, there is of course Vex coding in the background. And that is the first tip I can give you. It is possible to see the code that was created. You can view it by right-clicking on the node, go to Vex VOP options and then view Vex code. On the first glance, this looks a bit overwhelming, but basically all of this is just preparation for what you might want to do inside of the VOP node. When you scroll down, you find the relevant snippets that do the operation we defined. But being able to do it yourself enables you to create nodes with all that overhead and in a way shorter time. For this specific example, you could just create a Wrangle node and type in p equals p multiplied 2 and you get the same result as with the VOP node. Now the question you will often ask yourself at the beginning, how do I know what is the correct name of a specific attribute, like in this case position? You always have the option to create that VOP node and jump inside to see what parameters are available and how they can be addressed. Another helpful information you can find is the included help of Houdini. At every point in time you can press F1 and start up the help portal. This is especially useful when using functions you are not yet familiar with. For example, if you look into a Wrangle node and click this icon on the right, you get a list of a few operations you might need on a regular basis. Let's just load one of them that uses a function. This one is looking at the distance between points. To do that, it reads information about the points with the point function. Now, if you need to use a function like that, but you do not know what it does or which information you have to type in to use it, the first thing you can do is to click on the function and place the cursor over the function name. You will get the tooltip with the basic explanation for the purpose of that function, and then you can press F1 to get the help documentation from SiteFX. The documentation can vary in detail, but what you will always find is the function definition. So if you don't know how to call the function at hand, you could just copy the definition into your coding, and then you only need to fill in the necessary parameters. But more detail on functions in the next module. In the next clip, we take a look at the syntax of Vex.